An ancient forest that remembers everything. The path begins where the road ends. You don't remember deciding to come here. One moment, you were somewhere familiar, and the next, the air had changed and cooler, greener, threaded with the scent of damp earth and something resinous, something old. Above you, the canopy closes like a hand cupping a small flame, and the last of the daylight filters down in soft coins of gold that land on the moss without making a sound. The trees here are not like other trees. You sense it before you can explain it. Their trunks are wider than any car, wider than small rooms, and their bark has the texture of 100 winters layered one on top of another, ridge after ridge after ridge. Some of them lean gently, the way old friends lean toward each other when they're listening. Others stand straight and tall, solid and unmoving, surrounded by nothing but green and brown and the long hush of centuries. You take a step onto the path. It's carpeted with fallen leaves so soft they barely whisper beneath your feet. A deep cushion of red and gold and rust that has been building layer by layer for longer than anyone has kept count. The ground feels alive beneath you, welcoming, like a floor that's been warmed just for you, just before you arrived. As you walk further in, you notice the light changes color. It's no longer the white gold of late afternoon, but something deeper, almost amber, the way honey looks when you hold a jar of it up to a window. The light moves slowly through the leaves above, drifting like it has nowhere urgent to be. You find yourself slowing down too, matching its pace, your shoulders dropping an inch without you quite noticing. Somewhere off to your left, water is moving, not rushing, just trickling, unhurried, the sound of a stream that has carved its bed so gently over so many years that the rocks have been worn round and smooth like the backs of sleeping animals. You could follow that sound if you wanted to, but for now, you simply let it accompany you, a soft percussion beneath the deeper quiet of the trees. The forest doesn't ask anything of you. That's the first thing you really notice, once you've been walking a while. There's no path to finish, no destination waiting with expectations. The trees aren't watching to see what you'll do next. They've been standing here for so long that your presence is barely a ripple to them. And somehow, that's a comfort. You can simply exist here, a small, warm thing, moving slowly through something much larger and much older than yourself. You reach out and place your palm against the bark of the nearest tree. It's rough beneath your fingers, etched with deep grooves that your fingertips fall into naturally, like reading a map by touch. The bark is cool in some places and faintly warm in others, holding little pockets of the day's last sunlight. You leave your hand there for a moment, and you swear you can feel something underneath the bark, a pulse, slower and steadier than your own. The tree doesn't need anything from you. It simply lets you rest your hand there, the way an old, patient friend might let you lean against their shoulder without asking why. If you press your ear gently to the trunk, and you find, without quite deciding to that you have, you might hear something, not words, more like an impression. Wind moving through a much older wind, or rain that fell decades ago, still somehow held in the grain of the wood. This is, after all, a forest that remembers everything. Every storm that ever passed through here left its mark. Not a scar, more like a story. The trees absorbed it, the way you might absorb a piece of music you heard once as a child and never forgot. even if you couldn't say where or when you first heard it. Spring, too. Each time it arrived, with its soft green haze and its returning birds, settled somewhere into these rings of wood. 1 year quietly on top of the last. You don't need to ask the trees for their stories. Just listen. So you do. You settle yourself at the base of one of the oldest trees, the widest one you've seen so far, its roots rising up out of the ground in slow, generous curves, forming little alcoves and hollows that seem almost shaped for sitting. The moss here is thick and cool, like a blanket someone left out specifically for you. You lower yourself into it, feeling the gentle give of the earth beneath, and you lean back against the trunk. And the forest begins, in its own way, to speak. You can almost feel, more than hear, the memory of a deer that once stood exactly where you're sitting, a very long time ago, in the hush just before dawn. The deer wasn't afraid. There was nothing here to be afraid of. It simply stood in the blue-grey light, breath rising in soft clouds, listening to the forest wake up around it. The first birds, the first stirrings of leaves, the slow brightening of the sky through the branches. The tree remembers the weight of those small hooves pressing into the ground, and the warmth the deer left behind in the moss. The way the grass slowly straightened again after it wandered off, unbothered, into the green. There's another memory here too, older, deeper, settled further down in the roots. A memory of rain. The soft, steady kind that falls for a whole day and turns the whole forest into something hushed and silver. The leaves above would have caught the first drops, passing them down branch to branch, slower and slower, until they reached the ground as something gentler than rain. More like a long, soft exhale, repeated again and again. The tree remembers how the bark darkened, how the smell of the forest deepened into something earthier and richer, like the whole world had taken a breath and let it settle. You can almost smell it now, can't you? That particular smell of rain on old leaves. It's still here somehow. Some scents don't ever fully leave a place. They just wait, quietly, for the right moment to return. Further back still, and this memory feels different, slower, vaster. The tree remembers being small. A sapling, no taller than your knee, pushing up through the leaf litter into a more patch of light that some other older tree had left behind when it finally, gently, fell. The sapling remembers the long stretch of seasons it took just to reach the height you are now. Sitting against its trunk, years and years of small, steady growth. A little taller each spring, a little wider each year, never in any hurry. The forest had all the time it would ever need. And isn't that a strange, lovely thought? That something could grow this slowly, for this long, and never once worry about it. No rush to get anywhere. No nights spent wondering if it was growing fast enough. It just kept going, one quiet ring at a time, until one day, without any fuss, it was enormous, ancient, exactly what it had always been becoming. You find your eyes growing heavy as you sit here, leaning against all that slow, patient memory. The light through the canopy has shifted again, dimmer now, more blue than gold, the kind of light that comes just before evening fully settles in. Somewhere above you, an owl shifts on its branch, feathers rustling softly, in no hurry to begin its night. The forest holds memories of nights like this too. Thousands of them. Nights when the moon rose slowly through the branches, casting long, soft shadows across the leaf-covered ground, and small creatures moved quietly between the roots, going about their small, unhurried lives. Nights when nothing much happened at all, just darkness settling over the trees, and the trees simply standing there the way they always had and always would. This is one of those nights now. You can feel it. You don't have to get up. There's nowhere else this evening needs you to be. The moss beneath you is soft. The trunk behind you is broad and steady, and the air smells of leaves and rain that fell long ago, and rain that might fall again someday, whenever the forest decides it's time. Your breathing has slowed to match the slowness around you. Long, easy breaths, the kind that come without you trying. Your eyelids feel heavier with each one. Somewhere close by, that stream is still moving, unhurried, the same gentle trickle it's been making for longer than you could ever guess. The owl above shifts again, then settles, content to simply watch the dark deepen. The forest doesn't need you to remember anything tonight. It's already remembering enough for both of you. All it asks, all it has ever asked of anyone who wanders beneath these branches, is that you rest here a while and let its slowness become yours. Let it settle into you the way rain settles into old soil, quietly and completely. So close your eyes, if you haven't already. The trees will keep watch. The moss will hold you. And somewhere nearby, the stream keeps its soft rhythm going on and on into the dark. You are held here. You always have been. If you're drifting now, I think the forest would be glad of it. It's been waiting a long time for someone to finally rest beneath its branches. There's no need to find your way back tonight, or any night, really. I'll leave the path open for you, and I'll be right here next time with another quiet place to wander. Sleep well.